Hey, this is Bryson LaFleur coming at you with another tennis improvement video. But today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to share a story about a former hitting partner and ex-friend and how one unforgivable match ended our relationship. We met working at McDonald's, and then I was outside practicing. He said he remembered me from the orientation. Let's just call him Tom. He asked to hit sometime, and I said sure. He wasn't technically sound and his form was raw, but he was gritty and competitive. I needed a hitting partner, and something about his attitude reminded me of David Freire. Not flashy, but fast, consistent, and relentless. I gave him tips here and there, but I was careful. I didn't want to overwhelm him. Still, I saw potential. At first, I won every set easily. That went on for almost 2 years. Sometimes I felt bad because I saw how hard he worked, but the gap between us was real. But one day, I didn't win as easily, and I noticed. The sets got tighter, the points got longer, and I started feeling a little bit of pressure. One day we played in the fog. It looked like a scene out of Naruto. A giant oak loomed behind the court and everything was soaked in this dense Halloween mist. The ball bounced weird and moved through the air very slowly. The humidity had to be 100%. It was a battle to the bitter end. He started making questionable calls, and at one point he yelled to some strangers in the park, "Didn't you see that? That was in, right? That was in." Then he beat me. First time in 2 years, I was shocked. Proud of him, but confused. Had I slipped? Had he leveled up? After that, something changed. He walked differently, talked differently. Suddenly, we were trading sets 50-50. It felt like a real rivalry now. One day we played, I was up, but then I broke a string. I grabbed a ball racket and still won the set with ease. And then he was livid. He demanded a rematch immediately, but I was tired. And I didn't want to keep playing without my racket, so I told him, hey, let's just play later. He exploded. He called me names. He started hitting balls at me. And then he stole my tennis bag and refused to give it back. And I said, give it back or I'm gonna have to call the police. He didn't, so I called. The officer showed up, and I didn't want to get him in trouble, so I just told the officer, I just want my things. But Tom started panicking. He literally told the cop officer I assaulted him. I was like, bro, be quiet. The cop said, you were two friends and you were fighting over something so small, and he just seemed disappointed. But hey, I got my bag back. After that, we stopped talking. I didn't know what to say to him after that. Then later, I signed up for a tournament. I ended up winning my first match, and guess who got a walkover? Tom. It was me versus him. It felt like divine intervention. I went back and forth. Should I even play him? But the rivalry and the love for the game was too hard to deny. I had to do it. We needed to settle this once and for all on the tennis court. The warm-up was cold. No smiles. You could cut the tension with a knife. He came out with a bitter rage. He was on a mission, and it was working. I felt tight and nervous, and I was just playing his game. Other people in the tennis club were fed up with his energy and were yelling at him during their own matches and showing a lot of hostility, which was very uncomfortable for a club environment. It seemed like his rage was contagious. You cannot be serious! And I felt sorry for him. However, all the noise and tension was distracting me, and the match was slipping away. But my brothers cheering for me gave me hope. I had to dig deep. I told myself, Bryson, you're not playing your game. Stop being passive, be aggressive, dictate. And then I just started to let go. I started to swing freely. I was in the zone, and then I won 3 games in a row. I was up 5-4, then on set point, he double faulted. Set 1. Second set, I dominated. He couldn't hurt me anymore with his consistency because I was in the zone playing my game. I was starting to read everything and have a great feel for the ball. 5-2, 40-30. It was finally match point. I was telling myself, have tunnel vision. Make this point like the last point you'll ever play. I stepped in and hit deep. He hit to my backhand, but I was waiting. I carved a backhand slice cross court, the cleanest I've ever hit. I could feel the hairs of the ball through my tennis strings. It floated low, cutting through the air right by him. It was a winner. I let out a huge roar. I wanted to cry and laugh at the same time. It was mastery, completion, and flow. Chills came from the bottom of my toes all the way to my scalp as I felt truly alive and that I've truly found mastery in that one slice. I walked up to him and humbly said, "You played well." He snapped, "Don't talk to me." He stormed off, and people came up to me, congratulating me, shaking my hand, and it felt great. One woman even said, "You were better in skill and sportsmanship," and that meant a lot. He came back a little bit later, and he was yelling. He said he lost because of his knee, and my brother shouted, "You lost! You lost!" And then the chaos started. Some guys from another match yelled, "Shut up, you little boy!" And then he shouted, "Who you calling a little boy?" Then the other club members jumped over the fence to fight him. He ran to his car and then flipped us all off. That was the craziest match I ever played. I lost a friend, but the match showed me what was possible. It took me deeper into myself, and I was proud because I showed courage, composure, and mastery. If you want to play great tennis, you have to own your game despite what situation you may be in. If you got value from this video, check out my Serve Mastery course where you can learn how to serve step by step. The link is in the description. Also, like, comment, subscribe, and great luck out there on the tennis court. Thanks.